you have been with us for the last 6, 8 months, and you have been interacting with me, myself, and our staff, and you see how Practice Forces has worked with you. Do you have any comments of the overall satisfaction about customer service and the billing part?
Well, sure. I've had experience with for the past probably 10 years in dealing with billing companies. Billing companies have to be the heart of your organization. Otherwise, you cannot thrive, or you can't do business without the income coming in. So I've seen a lot of different billing companies over the past 10 years. And I must say that in the short amount of time that we've been with Practice Forces, that we have seen the type of service that we've always wanted to see. Customer service, communication is huge. Being able to send an email or a call and you get the answer right back that same day. That's very important to me and to our staff. And then, providing the service that you say you're going to provide. That goes a long way with me. Integrity, and making sure that you have the processes in place and the people in place that can actually do the job. I don't particularly like people that promise things that they can't handle or do. And so it's been a refreshing relationship thus far. We have definitely seen our income go way up since developing this relationship with you. And we look forward to making the processes even more efficient. We've enjoyed the technology, the information that you have to maximize our potential and our profits. So I think it's been great so far.
Wonderful.
Appreciate it.
Would you make a comment about your selection criteria? I know it took you a couple of months when you were shopping for the billing company, and I know particularly I've been interacting with you for maybe a month or so, and then trying to answer most of the questions. What was going on in your mind, and what made you take a decision about coming on board with Practice Forces?
Well, again, we were in a situation where we were in a very tenuous and really a bad, put it plainly, a bad situation with another billing company. We weren't receiving income. There was little to no communication, and we were getting to a point where our cash flow was very low. And fortunately, our organization really believes in hiring the right people, because once you hire the right people, they know where to find what we need. And certainly, Rhonda Harris, our Director of Finance, spearheaded the search for a billing company, and she did a search. She did not limit it to our local area, Orlando. She went nationwide, looking at all sorts of different billing practices and companies to find the best fit for our organization. And so, and it got to be so many that I couldn't keep up. And I told Ron, I said, you're going to have to put a spreadsheet together to let me see the differences between all these different companies. But one thing I noticed, after she had interviewed 5, 6, 7, 8 companies, that she kept coming back to Practice Forces. Her thought processes would always compare them with you guys. And I don't know if she knew she was doing that, but I picked up on it.
Wow.
And because I trusted her, and I, at the end, when it boiled down to 2 or 3, and she, was trying to really decide based on this and I just simply said, I think, Rhonda, what's your gut?
Yeah.
What's your gut telling you? And she said practice forces, and I said that's what I've been hearing for the past few months. And so I think she was a little reticent about making that decision for our company, and you know, certainly the if it failed, it would look as if she made the failure
Right.
by choosing. But I trusted her, you know, in her decision making, and because I think she has a good mind, and certainly she's proven herself to be right. Her gut was right, and so we're again we did an exhaustive search, and I think the thing that made the decisions for her was the customer service aspect, the fact that she felt that you guys really wanted the business, and that, you know, we weren't just going to be a number, we weren't going to be just a client, you know, we'd have a relationship, and that's what we believe in.
Wow.
And it always works best when you have relationships with people, not just business associates. You know, it's a check here and an invoice there, but you know, we get to know each other, and we look for the same successes together, that we can benefit each other. And I think that's what she felt.
Wow,
And
that's a very interesting insight of selecting a billing company. I know you have more than 13 and 14 providers, and it seems that they all are going to different facilities. They're nurses, and did you get a chance to talk to them in the last 2 months about the billing and the revenue side, and does that make a difference in their lives and in their style of working for you, and does that make the overall satisfaction level high for your company? Because it's basically ultimately, you know, it's a providers, they need to be satisfied, and they need to be
Well,
motivated.
certainly the most important thing to me as the leader of the organization is making sure that people are compensated for what they do.
Right.
And since I've owned businesses and practices, I've never been in a position where I could not provide the payroll.
Right.
And that is probably paramount to me, to always be able to provide the checks
So our
every couple of weeks.
Wow. So our reporting tools and communication will help you a lot, like the reporting.
Yeah,
we're
but
expecting from the
Mhm.
business.
But essentially, the providers themselves probably didn't, to them, knowing what our reimbursement is
Right.
probably not as important
Right.
to
Right.
them.
Oh, got it.
But our staff
Right.
was very important,
Right.
because when we were going through our cash flow issues, you know, I simply communicated with everybody that, guys, we're going through a serious
Difficult
challenge,
Yes.
and we're going to have to cut back,
Uh-huh.
and we're going to have to do a lot of things to make sure that we're able to provide funds to our providers, because they're the ones actually out there seeing the patients every
Right.
day.
Right.
And so we never got to a point where we couldn't provide. And once we settled on practice forces, and I communicated with everyone that things have definitely turned around.
Wow.
And that makes everybody feel comfortable
Wonderful.
that the organization is intact, and
Wonderful.
that they still have jobs and that type of thing. So it you know, indirectly it's made an impact on the providers.
Wow.
Hmm.
Anything you want to share about credentialing, because that seems to be a challenging thing when we took over. We had issues with Medicaid, Medicare, and
Yeah.
and confusion about the education part of billing. And
Yeah, my history in business and healthcare has been a situation where third-party billing has been, you know, a challenge, to say the least. I think anybody you talk to that is a provider, you know, they know that there are challenges, and therefore, you know, it's something you have to do, but you need you need relationships with people that make that easier. And that's what we've struggled with for few years now, finding people that know exactly what to do.
Yeah.
And not wasting time, because time is money, and knowing exactly. And so certainly we had some challenges with particular third-party billers. A lot of health insurance companies don't know what we do. It's a niche that a lot of people don't understand, and so to align ourselves with somebody that can figure that out and understands, and to help us to maneuver with these insurance companies has been very, very important, because it we don't get income if we don't know how to bill properly, and we don't have the proper credentialing for the company. So that has been a huge challenge, and we're already seeing the benefits of you guys taking that over and getting things done quickly, and providing that confirmation for us that says, okay, this is the way that has to be done, and then we start seeing the money. That's huge. So we've definitely appreciated that.
Thank you, Dr. Moore. It was wonderful, and it is our pleasure to have you on board
Thank
with
you.
Practice Forces.
Appreciate it.